Hey guys, it is Shane back here on WD18 for another match preview. This time the Golden Boys are back in action under the lights on Tuesday night against Manchester City, who are currently unbeaten. Before we head on and talk about the match, let's have a little bit of a recap in regards to our last game, which only happened a couple of days ago, against Leicester City, a game that I was at the King Power. Really disappointing game for the Golden Boys. Didn't register a single shot on target. Kasper Schmeichel could have popped off down the road, gone to the pub for the 90 minutes. Really, we didn't trouble him at all. We didn't have to make a save. And what was it? As I said, a very disappointing game for us. Didn't take our chances. Andre Gray missing two big chances for us. Just couldn't connect foot to ball. Missed a free header. Troy missing his cue as well in regards to a header. Isaac Success missing a one-on-one. Another very disappointing afternoon for Watford. And now we move on to a game as if it couldn't get any better against Manchester City, who are currently unbeaten and are blowing teams away, and are playing some absolutely scintillating stuff. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. It is so difficult to sit here and do a preview on a game that I'm about 95% sure we're actually going to lose. And it's very rare that I actually go into any game like this in the Premier League. You know, even before the Liverpool game, I was relatively confident that we could maybe try and nick something. But Man City is one of those games whereby we'll be very lucky and we would have to catch City on an extremely bad day. And I mean extremely bad, black cat under a ladder kind of like bad luck, really. But I did notice actually one thing, and it was during the game at the King Power. Of course, Leicester City and the scoreboard and everything had all the latest scores going up on the side. Noticed at one point it was Man City 1, Bournemouth 1, and it was quite clear that Bournemouth had one shot. I think Bournemouth actually only had one shot on target in that game, and they managed to score from it. Managed to put City under some sort of pressure. There is the possibility of putting City under pressure. It's just whether or not we actually bother to do so. And whether or not we've actually got the capability of actually trying to do so. City have got this immense attacking ability. You look at their players. I mean, we're going to go on now to look at some of the team news for them. Of course, Kevin De Bruyne is still out with an injury. Benjamin Mendy still out with injury. Aguero, at the time of recording, may not be fit to start on Tuesday. May not even be fit at all with a game on Tuesday night. Which will help us because, of course, he scored a hat-trick at the Vic last season in what was a 6-0 defeat for the Golden Boys. A very disappointing day, a horrible day as well weather-wise. I remember that I came to the Vic with a horrendous cold. The less said about that game, the better, really. And, of course, the season before that at the Vic, we lost 5-0 to them in what was the last game of the season, which everyone will remember as the Walter Zari playing two goalkeepers two goalkeepers on the bench, and Troy Deeney I think started at right back as well at one point, which was fun for all the family. Again, the less said about that one, the better. We haven't necessarily fared very well against Manchester City. Of course, we played them at the Etihad last season, lost 3-1. Conceded in the first minute, but that game was actually very notable for an Andre Gray goal, which turned out to be our only away goal of the second half of the season under Javi, which was something I didn't really expect in regards to starting 11s, etc. I think Javi's got a bit of a, not so much of a dilemma. He's got a bit of a decision to make, really. Does he rest a lot of the first team players given the big festive period, and therefore rotate the squad massively, giving a lot of our fringe players, youngsters, the likes of maybe Ben Wilmot, Domingos Quina, potentially players returning like Daryl Yanmat, Adalberto Peñaranda, etc., even Aurelio Gomez, a chance to maybe come in again and give a lot of those first team players a rest. In my opinion, I don't think Javi will do that. I don't think Javi's the kind of guy to massively tinker with games, especially for league matches. I think Javi will very much come at the angle of this is still a league game. It's Manchester City. We're live on TV as well. Bear that in mind. Well and good making a few changes tactically, but overhauling the entire team, I don't think would look very good. But I think I can see some players, I think, definitely changing. I said this in my fan cam on Saturday. If I was to make any changes, I'd keep the back four relatively same. The only change I would make is drop Maps and bring in Kabasele. I think out of the two of them on Saturday, I thought Craigie recovered the best, I think, out of both of them. Maps, I thought, was absolutely horrendous for 90 minutes. He looked like a rabbit caught in headlights, and I love Maps, but I think it's time for him to drop down to the bench, bring back Kabasele again. I think he's got the best ability of actually trying to stop any of City's forward line. In regards to our midfield, of course, as I say at the time of speaking, I don't actually know about Etienne Capous's suspension. If it is overturned, it will be before the City game, so he may be fit, he may be available, he might not be. On the off chance that he's not available, I can see Nathaniel Chalobah coming in for him. I think Doucouré will start in the midfield. I've not been massively keen on Doucouré this season. Player of the season last year or not, his performances haven't been good enough. And that kind of begs the question whether or not you bring in Tom Cleverley. I think if he's fit, I think he's definitely going to at least be considered. I don't think he will be. I think if he's fit, I think he'll be considered for a place on the bench. I think Doucouré, Chalobah will start in the centre. De La Feu for me has got to be on the right hand side. Javi, if you're watching this, please don't start Will Hughes on the right. I will scream if I see that in the lineup. Will Hughes on the right just doesn't work. It's as simple as that. Stop trying it. Stop trying to make out as if it's going to work. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. We've seen it doesn't work. Stop doing it. Right side of midfield has got to be De La Feu for me. He'll have a tough afternoon. I think he's up against Fabian Delph on the left back position. He's not as bad a player as people think he is. Left side of midfield, Roberto Pereira. I would still go with Pereira. As I say, I can't see Javi changing things up too much. I thought he was, again, utterly anonymous. I thought his attitude was disgusting against Leicester, trudging off the pitch, etc. I think he will get that start back again. I think he will. If not, potentially Isaac Success may come in on the left side of midfield, and I think we saw that against Leicester in the second half. I can see that maybe being a possibility. Up top, though, for me, it's got to be Troy Deeney and Andre Gray. There are a few question marks as to the formation we're going to play. Going two up top could be suicidal against City. If we maybe were to go one up top, who's the best person to maybe lead the line? Is it Isaac Success for the raw pace we may be able to get in behind those City defenders? I think starting Troy and a one up top will never work because I think he's just so one-dimensional as a striker, and will literally just be hoofball for 90 minutes, and it's not going to work. Let's be honest. Andre Gray, well, he couldn't catch a cold, could he? Really? And I think his ability up top is just as one-dimensional as Troy. As I say, it's all about how we start games, really. If we give City too much respect, they're going to take advantage of us. They're going to probably bully us on and off the ball. If we make a bright start to the game, have a few chances, take our chances. If any chances come to us early on, man, we've got to take them. I apologise for not being slightly more upbeat about this game, but of course we're not going to be judged by games against City this season. As long as we make a good showing of ourselves and don't get embarrassed, that will do for me, really. Thank you very much for watching. We will be outside the Hornets shop after the game, so come along and voice your opinions on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you on Tuesday night.